What's up guys, Kuro here with the update of the Rehan Burst Auto Bomber on the hero trial. I test with all the different mob. Alignment termination don't work on burst. I test it out on the training dummy, there's no increase of damage. And I go bought the level 21, haha. So don't need just the steamroll level 21 is cheap. Can buy it. Just get steamroll and critical strike damage increase. And right here, the trial. The attack speed for every 5 rage when you are in berserk, everything will be multiplied, so it's +2 attack speed for every rage you have, but that will you have to go calculate yourself. I'm not really sure the mathematic how to calculate it. And when you're on berserk, you consume a bunch of rage. Here is a 8 point. So I'm not really sure how much it consumes, but I know that as long as you have around 15 or 16 rage, you will not run out of rage. So it's best that you get one on the... I know that I used to say that this sucks, but it really helps for you to maintain the rage. But this is expensive in the trade house. Don't buy those that is expensive. I bought this very cheap. So I think I wait for like 4 or 5 days at the trade house, wait until someone sell it cheap with the amount of rage I need. Right here, you use this as reference, like around 15 or 16 rage. So for 9 rage on critical strike, 9 times heal effect 28%. 1.28 equal to 11. 11 plus 5, 16. So I have enough rage to maintain my rage, so that when you're on berserk, it will not drop. You'll always be max. Why you don't want the rage to drop? Every 1 rage equal to 0.8 critical strike rating and 0.4 critical strike damage. This you can go multiply it. And for this grant 9 rage on critical strike, if you can get one with attack and spell critical strike rating, for this one, the more we have critical strike, when your attack hit the target, it will trigger the burst. Every time we trigger the burst is a crit, and it will trigger another burst. More crit equal to more burst. This and for time mark 8, when taking damage, restore 2% of the life. This help. Or you can just get the move speed. Like without this first, I use this one. So the other one, I just get the rage on hit. As long as it's enough. This one is around 12 because right now it's 3.5%. So it's around 12. So I just need 4 or 5. Around 4 or 5 rage will be enough for me to maintain it. And if you have enough cash, like when you get this, then you can think of go get more rage from the heal memory, or you can get it if it's cheap. I'm not sure if anyone will make this price go expensive, but more rage, 45 if 90. Here mine is 28%. 90 times 1.28 equal to 11 plus something plus our 100 own reach. Together 215.2, 215.2, you go multiply this. I'm not sure it's like 0.8%. I'm not sure if my max is correct. Is it multiplied by 0.8%? It's at 172 critical strike rating. But I'm not sure if this one is correct or not. I haven't figured out on this how it multiply. Around 86 critical strike chance, so more reach. When we can maintain our own reach by having on the heal relic and the heal memory, when we can maintain our Berserk mode that it don't drop, this reach will give you a lot of damage. If you can't maintain, like, because this is really expensive on the trade house, if you can't get a 4 or 5 reach on hit, that have to depend on how much you get on your heal memory here. Mine is 9, is the max one. So you have to own self go multiply this 28% heal memory effect to know how much reach you need. Always is around 4 or 5 unless your heal memory reach on critical strike is like very low, maybe 6 or 5, then you have to buy the maximum of it. The maximum of this is like only 6, so if you can just get a 9 one plus attack and spell crit rate like these two, get reach on critical strike and attack critical strike rating. But I'm not sure right now how much it sell. Sometimes it's cheap. If it's too expensive, like 300, 400, don't buy it. Wait for someone to sell it cheap. That's what I do. So without this, if you haven't get the heal relic with the reach on hit, don't bother go use this. You can buy it and keep it, but don't bother go use it, because if you can't maintain your reach, it's really no point using it, and that this will be much more normal. So I just don't use the reach one. Roughly 8 seconds, and then I use the reach one. Yeah, I can wait until it drop, and then you build it back up. The more reach you have, the more damage you will get. So there will be a big difference. Right now, I'm not really sure is it the calculate for the burst is 100% or not, because the more I test, the more difference my damage is. But I know that alignment termination don't work on burst. That I can confirm. Other than that, it's like not sure what went wrong. Maybe it's like I craft my own axe because I'm going for strength. Strength gives out more damage. Thunderbone, there's a limit of damage you can get. Like here you will say that you minus because Thunderbone have more physical damage and attack critical strike rating. When these two is more than what you have, on the info here, the compare damage will be negative. Because they always compare the physical damage and the critical strike rating. If it's lower, you'll say that the weapon will be much better than this one. But I yesterday after I craft it, I go test team timer 8 with 4 campers. I can kill everything. But if I test it out on the training dummy, the damage is not really like increased a lot. That is the problem. I'm not really sure. Does everything calculate into it or not? Like the more I test, the more damage drop. So this one I think for hero trial is when I map, I just get this rage. When I have this, if you don't have this, for example, you get something like this one, then no point using the rage. Just that as you can see, the rage to maintain is not really that good. So you have to get another one. I mostly don't use this. 6 rage. Then you can maintain your rage. As long as you don't let it drop too fast. So around 15 rage or 15 or 16 rage is enough. Because now I have this one, so I just don't use this anymore. Okay. And for the equipment change, I got the heavy wear and I go corrupted myself, got this. And I corrupted this, got blinding, so I can drop this blinding from here. I don't need. Can add this. They don't use your mana. I go test it out on this Wing of Light. This corrupted one, it gives you frostbite. Because we drop this, we drop the ring. Where's my ring? Oh, wait, my ring is at the inventory. This ring. So we drop this ring, add 1% to cold and lightning damage so that we get shock and frostbite. So without the axe, we can't deal frostbite. No, sorry, we can't deal shock. So I get shock from the New of God statue of the New God. Shock will work, frostbite will never work if you use brutality. Because right now, with or without this determine, we still get 1 shot. So it's really no point using it. And this severe injury doesn't work with determine. We go for brutality for more physical damage, but cold need element. So whichever mob that you get on frostbite, all doesn't work. I test it out. I test this glove out, so it doesn't work. You have to change the brutality away. We can't use brutality, so don't go buy this. At the back, we will change this glove. Everything have to get strength. Helmet strength, chest get strength, glove get strength. Your shoe and belt. Belt really depend, like the cooldown recovery. See if we can get it cheap, but right now it's the 20% cooldown recovery speed is really expensive on Howling. And this I found it myself. It's best that all get strength with some armor. This I get it myself, so I'm not going to buy. From the weapon, I craft this myself. It's not really that good. I will recraft it again because here the strength is very low. I lock on these two, like I craft this, I lock on these two, and it give me this strength. That's why I stopped crafting. It's like it's really expensive. I spent like 100, around 80 flame alley to craft this weapon, and it's not a good one. After I craft it, I come to process. Gear effects here is all 25% chance to get it. If we go for judgment, add physical damage to attack per strength is 2.31%. And most of the state I try it out around 10 or 20 times, everything came out is this. Physical damage, that one is trauma. It's really annoying. It's like you waste a bunch to get the the shit state that you can get. And at the beginning judgment, you really don't have this much. And in two of these mob, paralyze and strength came from judgment processing. So it's really hard to get. And compared to the gear physical damage, it's much easy. And mine is physical damage, so this sucks. Don't get physical damage or area. But sometimes if it's a T1, then you can use it. Mine is T3. So I stopped because of this strength. And then after that, so when you're making the suffix strength, neither see which one is strength, attack critical strike rating, or critical strike damage. When you are crafting any one of it is T1, you can use it. And the rest you have to come and craft it yourself. The strength is the easiest one because there's only 3 effects, 38% chance. And for the Soul Burst, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here have 4 effects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here have 5 effects. Go for critical strike damage. Go for the more effects one. Like D is 3, D is 4, D is 5. Go for 5. After you craft this as T1 or T2, then you go try your luck on crafting attack critical strike rating. This critical strike rating, if you have defeated enemy recently, this is useless if you are fighting boss. Movement speed is useless. So attack speed still help because it gives us some cooldown, but the best is still attack critical strike rating if you are crafting. If we don't grow crafting, we really lack of too much damage. If we go strength, it's because strength gives us life and it gives us some damage. And for the crafting of ring, for this one is I lock on to the physical damage to attack and spell. And I got the coal, T3 coal, so I stopped. And I got a strength. It's not a good one because I run out of flame alley. I will have to recraft it again. This one is I lock on to lightning resistance. The only thing is that we only can afford 2 resistance. And then have to get strength. Always have to get strength. Now it's low is because I really don't have enough. This I haven't crafted yet. So the list of things that need to craft is on here. The max roll. The resistance depends on your own resistance. There will be no erosive. Why no erosive is because with or without erosive you still die very fast. So it's like mostly like helmet, strength, cooldown, quick strike. We get this everlasting flame, get strength, 50% and above, more strength, more damage. But it's like around 400 for 70% strength is around 480 flame ally. For glove, it's like if this is just recommend. If you are really lack of resistance, drop 1 strength, go get 1 resistance, or drop the critical strike damage, get 1 more resistance. Because here I can't calculate what is the resistance. For movements, for shoe, the most important is the subflex, like cooldown, movement speed, and strength. This is the hard part, is getting movement speed. So if you want to buy and craft, buy the cooldown recovery speed and craft it yourself, this will be like so hard and you will waste a bunch. And even the base of the equipment, I just use whichever you can find that is cheap. But it's still best that you get is the strength one. Strength gives you more armor. And this is like a recommend, like maximum life, critical damage, max life. If you can get it, get it. If not, then just use whichever prefix, just use whichever prefix you can find. For suffix, it's always fixed. If you really lack of resistance, just get it from here. So it's like best that you, when you are craft, leave 1 slot here, 1 or 2 slot, so that you can get neither strength or critical strike rating or resistance. This we still use it, and like this all same. Like this all state is just increase more damage. If you also can change it to resistance. That's why when I craft, I don't go all 6 effects, because this enchants, neither you can enchant resistance, or you can go craft it yourself, craft another mob, resistant mob, rather than you get all 6 effects and you can't craft or change anything. This I just get physical damage. This is the best I can get. It's like on season 3 crafting will be like very hard, so it's hard for me to make a guide on how to craft. Everything is RNG, so it's just based on your luck. Some player can get something like strength, fire, cold within like 2-3 trial, 2-3 attempt of crafting. But I use all 100, I don't get all this state. Like this one, the cold resistance on both green, that is enchants. Because here I can't add in enchants. And it's like even the base, if you can find a cheap one that is element resistant, get it. And this for the crafting. Crafting is really need luck, man. And need to farm a bunch of flame ally to go craft. Maybe get around 100 or 200 flame ally and slowly craft all this out. For build, neither use howling, corrupted howling on cooldown, or craft it yourself. Craft will give you more damage, but it will be hard to craft. Another one for crafting is get cooldown on helmet and shoe, and belt. Belt will use the howling. This is for another weapon that use the vanquish mallet. It's like there's really no other state you can get on hammer. like focus strike, then you can change this to swipe or change the amulet, the necklace, to any thing that you find that is useful. But this is like not easy to craft also. But I still find that strength will be much better. It gives life and damage, physical damage. And for me, I haven't crafted the helmet, the chest, the glove. I only changed my axe and 2 ring. It's still not good at all. And this is the thing that I changed for my crafting. And the most time and resource that I spend is on the statue of the new god. I bought a bunch of chaos, like additional max damage, chance to deal double damage, critical strike. This help. This increase your damage a lot. This help. But this is the best. Additional damage against enemy at the center of the area for every point of chaos. This you can combo with focus strike. Burst is a skill that auto target and it always deals central to the enemy, so you don't need to like position yourself or run after the enemy or that. Like it is an auto target. And for this, we drop hair trigger. We go for rushed. Rushed have movement speed and additional damage. So under God of War, we change we get brutality, have favor, endless favor is still the same. I drop the life and get more physical damage. And here I get life. Shadow Dancer, we don't use versatile anymore. In last video, I suggest everyone go buy hair trigger. It's because hair trigger is the cheapest Piggy of God, and versatile help us for beginning when we have like more cooldown. So hair trigger, we have to use hair trigger and drop versatile. And if you really lack of critical strike, just get critical strike. This life I will drop when I have more strength. Right now my life is at 3800. I can drop it, but I don't want wait until I have more strength. I will drop the life and get more damage. And here I get this one, additional damage from weapon. So all this is the same, just that this can drop it. This have for burst have the same bug in season 1. Cooldown recovery speed for trigger skill doesn't work at all. Just don't get this. And trigger damage, damage for trigger skill, these you can get like 3 or 4, like 1 on talent. I got another few more. Here 1. Is there more? Oh yeah, I changed. I have a bunch that have all different type of even damage to enemy under crowd control effect is also increase your damage. Mostly I go for damage for trigger skill. Like if you are looking for something from the Fallen Starlight, if you have, it will increase your damage. I think I push it to sell it. Yeah, I have one here. I bought this chance to inflate full spike. It doesn't work. I brought it together with the trigger skill damage. And I bought the chance to ignite. Doesn't work. And weak chance doesn't work. I thought that it can work. But we have to add it to our skill. Salvage charge, add fire, and back to here. Okay, I finished this. The core talent just follow the max roll, like indifference and dirty tricks. Dirty tricks, we only lack of frostbite, so it's like 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 24% additional damage on hit. And we drop the skill duration because I have more cooldown. Critical strike rating. These don't really need anymore. Movement speed when the blur is active. I drop these. I got 100% chance to gain blur on defeat. I use that to test out, and like even paralyzed, you can get it from the statue of the new god. Divinity Slate, Fallen Starlight. You can go search it at the trade house. There's a bunch. Just that the problem is how much it sells. I can drop these. Now it's at 3006, still okay. It's like I have more shifted mana. It's because of the statue of the new god. Minus 40% shifted mana for trigger skill. I find that this is useful, as like we got another one is from here. So we got minus 80 shifted mana for trigger skill. This depends on player whether you want it or not. And damage on hit per type of alignment on. Or which one? Additional damage against cursed enemy. All this I list it out here under the Divinity Slate. Right at the bottom. This cursed damage, physical damage per 10 level. All these, if you can find them together in the same starlight, or in the corner of divinity, or the preview of God, so that you can free more space. You can free more of this column. It's like this use 3 column, this use 4 column, this use 2 column. So all this is just a suggestion. Just find whichever that you need to use. I get this because of shielded mana, so I get it with trigger skill. And I find that it's cheap with movement speed and attack and cast speed. So like these 3 I can use, I get it. So when you buy all these, just try to get those that you can use, like shot, attack and cast speed will give me some cooldown. And movement speed will give me agility blessing that when I have agility blessing, I will have movement speed. And this is a must. Gain 1 stack of agility blessing per 8 attack. This is the best. When you hold down your savage charge, you will get agility blessing. When you get to 4 stack, your cooldown will be much faster. Almost 100% cooldown. Almost 100%. And remove all damage over time. I find that it's a bit useful, but the useful is not really that big. Because when you use your restoration skill, it remove, but then the enemy give you another new one. They stack the dog very fast. I'm not sure, it's like in season 3, the enemy give you a hell lot of damage on timer 8. 1 touch, you are dead. So this depend if you need it or not. Like agility blessing stack, you can get it with the shielded mana, or get it with the damage type. Agility blessing, I think it also came out in the Fallen Starlight, just that it's expensive, or even in the Prigi of God, they are expensive. But on the corner of Divinity, it will become cheap, because this use 3 column. And for this, God of War Divinity, Branding Attempt 9 or 12. I save 9 and 12. 9 and below I all throw away. Not even going to sell it. This is a branding 4th or the 5th one that I have. And I got this chaos buff. Damage against enemy at the center of the area. So then I got all the state that I can use. Strength, critical strike damage, favor effect, melee skill radius. So it's just nice that I can use them. Between chaos and order, I would suggest go for order, but order is too expensive. That's why last week I go buy all the chaos that I can and test it out. Critical strike damage is the best, and central area increase the damage. Like these two is the best if you can get it, and add this Godful Step. But they are not cheap at all. So even with just this, it will give you enough damage. But if you add these two, it will give you more damage, around like 100 million or 200 million more, depend. Why I say that don't suggest people get this, because we don't have enough flat damage. Our physical damage is not enough. Even if you get, unless you use the order there's a physical damage and critical strike rating. Order is better, but it's expensive, and if you are like me, I don't have this much time to farm on season 3, so there's a bunch of stuff I take very long to get it. And my cooldown, if I have all the attack speed buff, my cooldown can get around 120 something, because I have around 10 bursts. I will list it down on the Google Sheet. See whichever mod state that you can get that increase your damage. Just that this is a must. Gain 1 stack of Agility Blessing. Neither you get it on corner, Pregate of God, normal Divinity Slate, or Fallen Starlight Slate. Or the other is just depend on yourself. I need suited mana, so I get a suited mana with all the other that I can use, and it sells cheap. And this is basically it for the talent. I talk about hero trial, gear. Let's see. Like Pregate of God, like this cast speed plus 20% cast speed, this help because we don't need the spell damage. But like all these other two state, two mob state, this useless, really useless for your build, and it sells 66. I don't think that is worth it just for a cast speed. And this is 150. It's really good for us. Additional damage against cursed enemy, damage for trigger skill, cooldown recovery speed. Just that expensive. And this one is, I bought it, critical strike. So I bought it at what? Can't you see? 30. If you are still using the Wing of Light, like you can get the weaken and 1 stack of Agility Blessing. For weaken, or you can link it to reform, but not link it, use a reform. But this 3 is your main, you can't change. I have enough suited mana, so I can get it. If you don't have enough suited mana, don't really need it. And at the back, we will change this glove into a crafting glove. So all these control effect don't really need it anymore. That's why here I didn't get the weaken. And on here, just get a shock, like a mask, a GT blessing, and shock. And the rest is depend on what buff you can find and whether is it cheap or not. And depend on luck whether you can brand them, keep branding them, save a bunch. Everything I find it myself. And right now for the crafting, it's like the base of the crafting. It's really hard to find. Like this type sell cheap because it's have strength. No one use strength anymore. Not much people use strength. So you can find cheap one. And like on gear, weapon, the new change to this is like not used to it. Where is the... Why is this is called other? Weapon. For X, recommend Ripping Great Axe base, Blue Sea Great Axe base, or Unpredictable Broad Axe as base. If you really no choice, Ripping Great Axe can use it. Like you can look at the detail, their base. These have high physical damage and the crit is good. 540. These have more crit. 550, 197 physical damage. This is still fine. And this one. His physical damage is much lower. 147. 189. These have like 550 critical strike. So it's like 1. This is the second. This is third. This is 4. So when you find the base of the weapon, compare them. So try to get the... Sometimes it's just expensive. It's like, I'm not sure why people sell their base so expensive. For example, I find the gear. Like this is the Doomsday Broad Axe. This is not the one. The one that is good is Ripping Great Axe. So same icon, different name. Just get the cheap one. You can look at the price, it's really ridiculous. So sometimes I just go get those that is cheap. Sometimes you can get a cheap one with just... where's the strength one? This one is... not this one. This one. Okay. Sometimes I'm not sure where is it. No item found. Only left this. This is expensive. The cheap one all gone. It's like this is too expensive. You have to buy the something to take away this one and go craft it yourself. It's like, where's the item? Season item. Not season. Few Forcer. This one. Refined Forcer. Expensive. 290 to 300. Or no, to 400. You need to buy this to take away the lousy state. To get this away, and you still have to spend a bunch of flame arrows. This type I will not buy. Now mostly I go find it myself. For the X base, just when you're running timeout 7 or timeout 8, just take a look out. You can find it yourself rather than go buy them. Right now I'm not sure why the price so high. And I talk about this, like the crafting base. Try to get all strength. If you are buying, just buy all strength. This glove get fire resistant. This shoe, it's like depend what you can get. Where is the cooldown recovery? But its best is this one, but this will sell expensive with a cooldown recovery. So you look at the armor, all that, like if it's on fire resist, it's help. Or this chance to avoid element, this is useless to us, 10% chance to target ignite. It's like if the shoe, if the cooldown is on this base, it's good. But it's just see whether what you can find. So now I update on this one. You have to go for strength. Just that let me open up again. The problem with this build right now is we need too much crafting. One craft, 2 craft, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 craft. You need strength, you need this, you need that. So I'm not sure. I don't really want to suggest people to go play this. If you have enough damage, you can clear timer 8 with 4 campers. You can get more damage. Like even if you are using the Thunderbone, you can get more damage from Statue of the New God if you buy the Order buff. It will give you more damage compared to Chaos. Just that the price is really crazy. Like Order have attack damage. I don't think we need attack and cast speed. Right now you lack of is damage rather than cooldown. Like 1, 2, 3. I think there's one more Order. Or did I miss out? Yeah. So additional damage, increase of damage, critical strike rating increase. The most is the physical damage. Like if you check the physical damage, it's really expensive. This is like you really can make a crafting weapon. Right now, like these really give you damage, but do you really want to spend this much to get it? Everything that is Order is, the price is too high. Like 100 over. Order I just spent like what, 50 frame alley. The only not Order is Chaos. Like this time I buy this is the cheapest, yeah. And the most expensive is this one. Between all the Chaos. That's why I get it on the God of War Divinity Slate. Just keep branding, you will get it. Either you use the normal Divinity, Fallen Starlight, or the corner, get those buffs that you need. Sometimes when you are branding different type of Divinity, you can find something like this: Paralyze, Curse Radius, Suited Mana, like chance to gain blur, damage to enemy under crowd control effect. I still have other that is really nice, just that it's not here. I have a bunch. I just save them. And got a machine always branded to get these. These sell a lot on the trade house. But they only sell a lot when it's on the fixed talent node. Enhanced talent node, just get it yourself. Everything all this divinity I just pick up. As long as the branding attempt is more than around 9 or 12, and the fixed talent node is purple color, neither 2 purple color or both blue node is the one that you can use, then you get it. If not, I don't really pick up everything now. It's that don't really have that much space. For the skilling, for last skillings, this one, for the blinding, get it here. So I drop the blinding from here, get critical strike rating because of the burst. Wait, not this one, this one. And fire and erosive damage added is a must, and then these 2 defense. All this is still the same, just that I always change this part. If you can't use the element resistance, then try to get them from your pack. Yeah. Try to get them for your pack. Get a bunch of resistance. Survive. And find resistance, element resistance. Oh, okay. At 75 is enough. I get this because I have extra 40% suited mana for trigger, so I can use it. This one increase the damage. Just need to get the buff. This on the compound potion, emergency restore or residue, but timeout 8 emergency restoration is much better. And for this burst of anger, I bring it out as activation because I want more attack speed. If you want survive, you can use the delay pain. And put it up here. Delay pain. And this one can change to burst. But you must have enough suited mana. And this one I can I still have enough, I can get reform so that it will weaken the enemy. Like, you can keep changing it, you don't need to follow my 100%. I always change them as depend on my suited mana. If you don't have this minus suited mana, you really like lack of there's really a lot of things you can't use. Like this is not even activate. Yeah. I just like to use these. So it just depends. If you can find this minus 40% suited mana on the Pregate of God or the Fallen Starlight, you can like save slot. Like in any of one of here. Or with the shock chance. Or you can get it with the agility blessing per 8 attack. Like the suited mana trigger and this one. If I miss anything, can comment down below. I try my best to reply. And if you have any question, can drop down to my Twitch channel. The time that I stream is 9 AM Singapore time. So that Pacific time is 6 PM. Mostly it's 9 AM. Unless 9:30 AM I still haven't streamed, means that I have something doing or like making YouTube video. I always make it at morning. So all this I will share it. And if you find this useful, just give me some like and subscribe the channel. Thank you guys. See ya. Bye bye.